here he comes, ready to go. And I saw some of the videos of him training, and he likes to punch buildings. He trains punching buildings, kicking buildings, so it's definitely tough. You got to be a special individual to willingly punch a building. They call this man the Punisher, and he actually stepped up on late notice for this matchup. We'll get back to that in just a moment.
And now, Steve Mendez.
Everybody was
Another interesting song choice, but this should be a good fight. Like you said, Angel stepped up. He stepped up on the last minute notice, and so we'll see. A lot of times we see that be a little counterproductive. They don't really have the time to get ready as they would like to, but we'll see how this goes for him.
So this was originally supposed to be a Muay Thai kickboxing matchup. Steve Mendez was supposed to go up against Derek Paredes, but Derek had to drop out of the fight for unknown reasons. So making the switch over to boxing, Steve Mendez is going up against Angel Jaime, who, as we said, took this fight on, I think, quite literally less than a day's notice. So we're going to see how that fares for him. Let's send you up now to the introduction.
In our fourth bout this afternoon, introducing first, fighting out of the Tea-Time blue corner, a grappler representing parts unknown out of Miami, a two-fight veteran. Give it up for the Cuban Punisher, Angel Jaime. And fighting out of the Seacrest Water Tiki red corner, a boxer representing Martial Arts University right here in Fort Myers, making his sanctioned boxing debut. Give a vigilante welcome to Steve Mendez. Your referee in charge, Jose Laguirre.
So I believe this is going to be the boxing debut for Steve Mendez. However, he is undefeated as a Muay Thai kickboxer. He got his first victory just under a month ago over at Valhalla MMA. He got that victory in the first round by knockout. So very curious to see how he's going to fare in the boxing discipline. And here, there we go. Beginning of round one between Angel Jaime and Steve Mendez.
Oh, quick hands.
And Steve Mendez is jacked, first of all. I mean, he looks like he's in fantastic shape, but Angel Jaime does punch hard. We come to know that from him. I mean, we saw at the previous dog fights, he fought in that modified bare knuckle against Darius Scott.
And Steve is doing a really good job of controlling the center of the cage.
Jaime a little bit off balance. So, I mean, one thing's inherently clear. You could see the fundamentals of Steve Mendez. I mean, his traditional boxing stance. Look at him lighting up Jaime right now. Jaime doing his best to circle out, but Mendez is teeing off right now. This could be the beginning of the end for the Punisher. Mendez, as I was mentioning before, his fundamentals just seem so clean cut. Meanwhile, Jaime is a little more of a wild, style to him. Jaime got caught off balance there. I believe that's going to count as a knockdown. He will get the 8-second standing 8-second call.
That's what we've come to learn from Angel. Is he's very vocal. He's into scare tactics, I guess you could call it. And I don't necessarily think it's a gimmick. I just think that's his natural personality coming out. We see him throwing these huge punches that leave him wide open to get tacked up. Now, if they land, they're going to do some damage, but it just leaves him wide open to just get ripped through.
And that's the thing. We've come to know that he is a little bit wild with his style, but there's a lot of strength behind those punches. He had some good head movement there at the end of the round, but, I mean, we're going to have to see how that's going to fare for him in the second round because, I mean, Steve Mendez just seems like he's a very, very well put together fighter.
I got to say, as a boxing purist fan like I am, that first round had everything I want in a fight. I mean, just that pure boxing technical ability from Steve, and then just the wild, anything can happen, one punch needed style from Angel that just, it's fun to watch. It gets me going.
Absolutely. I mean, Angel Jaime is definitely entertaining, but, I mean, Steve Mendez is really just well put together. He's tactical. He's very well-rounded, seemingly. He seems like he's in great shape as well. He's getting those final instructions from his coach. Meanwhile, Angel Jaime is getting some instruction from the Wing Chun Science team. Jorge Betancourt is over there with him. So Angel Jaime, as far as we know, does not have any affiliations or associations with the team. But that's one of the great things about Vigilant MMA. There are a lot of teams here who are willing to step up for those fighters and give them somebody in their corner. So big ups to the team of Wing Chun Science for doing that for Angel Jaime here today. But here we go, round 2 of action. Wow. And I mean, when you see Steve like switch up those stances, when he gets ready to load up those punches, it's so quick. Everything is so intentional. There's no wasted movements with Mendez.
What's so impressive is this is his boxing debut, but based on his ability and just based on the way he carries himself as a boxer in the middle of this ring, it's hard to believe that.
No, you would think this is somebody who's been boxing for several years, and that's not to say he hasn't been training for several years, but has been fighting actively for several years. And I mean, just walking down Angel Jaime right now, he's got Angel Jaime running away, which isn't what we've seen much from Jaime. Jaime has usually been the one to be a little bit more the enforcer.
And also, we got to remind y'all, shout out to Angel for taking this fight on 1 day notice.
Absolutely, and it's got to be, I really do think it was less than 1 day because the weigh-ins were yesterday around 3 or 4 p.m. And right now, Mendez is teeing off. We get a standing 8 count. Jaime was not fighting back there. It's done.
That's the fight.
That's going to be the end of the fight. A huge victory there for Steve Mendez against an opponent that he wasn't ready for, in the discipline that he didn't do his fight camp for. He still showed up and got the decision, or sorry, got his victory here today. Congrats to Steve Mendez. What a showing.
That was impressive. That's all you can really say about it.
Absolutely.
Just clean, smooth, technical boxing ability.
Now, if that was his boxing, I really, really want to see his kickboxing.
Yeah.
I mean,
I just want to see more of him fighting.
Absolutely. I want to see him kickboxing. I want to see him boxing. I'll watch him do MMA. I don't care. This man right here, Steve Mendez, looks like he was made in a lab.
It's the Latino Mr. Clean.
I love it. There's everything about him. That's awesome. Big congrats to Steve Mendez, but again, big ups to the Punisher, Angel Jaime, for taking this fight on such short notice. It takes a lot of guts just to do that alone. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's send you back up to our announcer for the official announcement of your winner.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout comes to a halt in round number 2. Your winner by TKO out of the red corner, Steve Mendez.